The Forgotten Execution. 13 black soldiers hanged by the U.S. Army. December 11, 1917. On December 11, 1917, before sunrise, 13 African-American soldiers were marched to a scaffold that had been built overnight. No family was notified, no chance for appeal. And by morning, the largest military execution in U.S. history was complete, all in total secrecy. This is the story the Army tried to bury, the story of the 24th Infantry Regiment, and the injustice that changed military law forever. 1917. America had entered the First World War, and the 24th Infantry Regiment, an all-black unit with decades of loyal service, was sent to Houston, Texas, to guard the construction of Camp Logan. But the soldiers faced a different enemy: Jim Crow. Houston police openly targeted black troops, beating them, arresting them without reason, and threatening them for wearing the U.S. Army uniform in public. Tensions rose, like a storm waiting to break. On August 23, 1917, a black soldier was brutally beaten by a white police officer. Another soldier who tried to help was arrested. Rumors spread through camp that the man had been killed, and that a white mob was coming to attack the regiment. In fear, confusion, and desperation, about 100 soldiers armed themselves, believing they were marching for their lives. A violent clash erupted in Houston. When it ended, 15 white civilians and 4 black soldiers were dead. The Army responded with 3 mass courts-martial, the largest in U.S. history. 118 black soldiers were charged, 110 convicted, 19 sentenced to death. The trials lasted just a few weeks. The men had no right to appeal, no independent defense, and no opportunity to contact family. Despite chaos, confusion, and conflicting testimony, the verdict was predetermined. Before dawn on December 11, 1917, 13 soldiers were taken to a remote field at Fort Sam, Houston. A scaffold had been built overnight. The men, wearing their uniforms, shackled at the hands and feet, were led up the platform. Some prayed, some sang, some said nothing at all. At 7:17 a.m., the trapdoors opened. 13 African-American soldiers who had served their country with honor were hanged in secrecy. Their graves were marked only with numbers. No names, no ceremony, no justice. The shock of the executions echoed far beyond Texas. Because of this case, the U.S. Army changed its laws. From that day on, no American soldier could be executed without the approval of the president. For nearly a century, the Army refused to revisit the case. But historians, civil rights groups, and military scholars continued to press for justice. In recent years, the Army has reopened its investigation, acknowledging the racism, the unfair trials, and the possibility that these men were condemned not for their guilt, but for the color of their skin. More than 100 years later, the names of the 13 soldiers still echo through time, a reminder of the cost of silence, the weight of injustice, and the hidden chapters of American history that must never be forgotten. In memory of the 13, Anderson, Brown, Burns, Davis, Dixon, Edwards, Fuller, Goodwin, Hogan, Johnson, Moore, Turner, Wheatley, may their stories live on.